Hey guys, this is Bring Back the Farm. Welcome. Today I'm going to give you a little tour, a little update of my backyard homestead as I try to transform it. And right now it's the middle of November 2014. I've only been trying to do this for the last eight months or so. So I kind of want to show you all of the updates that I have. But here behind me is one of my rainwater harvesting systems. The unique thing about this is that I have two 275-gallon water totes behind me, and with 1 inch of rain on my roof, I can fill both of these up. And that gives me a lot of comfort, so that if something were to happen or water, it was hard to get water, that the water stopped pumping from the pumping station or the wells went dry around here, or just whatever. This allows me to have a living water storage. And the cool thing about that is, yes, I could have 55-gallon drums in my basement, and I do. But 55-gallon drums, if you fill them up in your basement and the water stops today, you can last as long as the 55 gallons will let you last, and then it's gone. But when it's gone, it's gone. You can't just refill it. This way, I can refill it. So I have 2 tanks here, and I have 2 tanks on the other side of my house. So that's roughly 1,000 gallons of water that I can collect and have at any given time. And the unique thing about this is that it's a living water storage. It actually enables me to go between rainfalls. I have enough to water a small garden and to water my family, I guess you could say it, for all of our water needs. And between each rainfall, and I live in the desert, so I'm in Utah, and it rains probably 14 inches a year where I'm at, and this gives me a great comfort because I know that I can last with water, even if my water in my basement, in my 55-gallon drums, runs out. I can still produce water as it rains. I have a way to capture that. So that's one of the things I wanted to show you today about my homestead. Let me go ahead and show you my chicken coop. This is my chicken coop. Behind me is my coop. It's roughly 6 foot by 6 foot by 6 foot. And right now it's holding 10 chickens of mine. And this coop could hold much more than that, but I try to give my chickens enough space to roam even within the coop, so they're not all scrunched together. But between my 10 chickens, I get about 7, 8 eggs a day, and I go through about 50 pounds of feed. That is because I let my chickens roam free throughout my backyard, and I have a 3rd-acre yard, and so the chickens get most of what they need from the yard. I mean, they get grass and they get bugs and other protein like that. So my chickens, a lot of people tell me that it's not economical to raise your own chickens for the eggs because it's cheaper at the store to buy the eggs. But actually, it only costs me, for a dozen eggs, it's like 60, 70 cents for a dozen eggs for me to produce my own eggs. And at the store it costs me, for the cheap eggs that you don't want to buy, you're going to pay $1 at least, and for a dozen. And this way, my chickens produce better eggs than the store. Even the organic eggs at the store aren't that great, because what the people do is they have thousands of these chickens in a coop, and in order to say that it's organic or free range or whatever it is, they put a door on the coop or the little warehouse, factory, whatever you want to call it, and they just switch out the feed. But the chickens don't actually have a better life. And so here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create an environment for my chickens to where they have a better life, and it's economical for me to produce. And so far, it has been. economical, and I mean, this is another way that I try to be self-sustaining for me and my family, and also it helps my kids know where eggs come from. So let me show you my orchard. It's a small orchard, but it's another piece of my backyard homestead. Another thing that I forgot to mention was that this chicken coop didn't cost me very much. It was mostly just scrap wood that I found in dumpsters at construction sites, and so I just kind of took some scraps and I was able to kind of piece together this thing. The shingles, I did pay for the shingles at Home Depot, but that was really the only cost. So the point is that anyone can produce a chicken coop. It doesn't have to be fancy, and it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. It just has to work, and the chickens aren't picky. And another thing that I provide my chickens here in the chicken area, I like to call it the chicken habitat, is I put my compost bins in here. My chickens love to go and scratch through the compost, find their own worms, and just kind of pick through it. And it works. It works for me, and it works for the chickens. This is my little orchard. I got 8 fruit trees here, a couple different types of apples, and I have Alberta peaches. I want to expand this little orchard, and hopefully it'll be able to produce enough apple juice, apple pie filling, just applesauce, peaches, just a lot of the basic stuff that I like to have. This past year, actually 2 months ago, I processed a bunch of apples that I was able to go get for free and produce my own apple cider. So that was a blessing to us. I was able to produce gallons of it, like just tons of it, and I would recommend that for anyone. And again, it wasn't very hard for me to build the apple press. I just bought some bolts and some 4x4x8 pressure treated wood, and I just kind of put it together, and I used plastic buckets with holes in it to squeeze out the apple juice from the pulp. So it was really easy, and I was able to produce my own apple juice that doesn't have anything in it. And the apples that I got, they weren't sprayed or nothing like that. So that was a blessing to us. But this is my orchard, and let me show you my garden spot. This is my garden spot. I'm going to probably bring in a bunch of compost and just kind of help the ground out. The earth here has a ton of clay in it, and so I'm just going to try to break that up and try to grow what I can. But it's about, it's close to like 100 feet by 25 feet, something like that. It's probably what it is. Yeah, but that's my garden spot. I'm going to try to grow everything that I can this next spring, summer, and we'll see how it goes.